Alright, so last time you went to investigate the actual cause of death for Fee's brother, and where you shattered the testicles of this old man and broke his precious mementos to ruin him further, as you found he had tried to siphon her life force effectively, but her powers kicked in, and so he had to settle for her brother's. And turned him into Aegis before you all returned home. A few days passed, nothing major going on. Maybe stopped the occasional mugging, or if you happened to be in an area during a car accident, maybe helped out with that sort of thing, but nothing dramatic. If there were any powers involved by other people, they were very low-level annoyance more than anything else. So given that few days of free time, is there anything in particular anybody would have wanted to do?
I guess Stryker's doing something he's never done before, which is initiate a conversation about morality with the professor.
Okay. Would this have been pretty much the next day, or would it have taken him a couple of days to build up the courage to do it?
I think the next day, man, there's not a lot of things that would strike his mind. But that particular last moment, even for him, I feel kind of bad about that one. And I've never destroying someone before.
Yeah, it would have been easy enough for you to get a hold of her, so you probably would have wanted to meet her in person for that conversation, I imagine.
Yeah.
She had you head to her office around noon that next day, and went out for lunch and talked over lunch, and she just, so what's on your mind?
This is going to sound strange for me, but I'm wondering if there is such thing as going far when dealing with a villain.
As you say that, as you had started to talk, she lifted up her drink and was bringing it up to her mouth to take a drink, and before you finished you finished the sentence before she had got there, and then she just kind of stops and holds the cup there for a second and sets it down without taking a drink, like she forgot. And what did you do?
I, for once, was not involved. I'm okay, partially destroying the man's family jewels, but I don't feel bad about that one.
And she just kind of nods. Oh, okay.
It was afterwards. He had a strange obsession with. I had learned that it was from his wife. It seemed from the way he talked. And well, my teammates may have restrained him on his knees and then smashed it in his direct line of sight. I don't know if he'll.
She kind of takes a minute, and well, it's one thing if you're fighting and you have to physically injure them, I suppose, to stop them from harming others, but this does seem more like a move that was done out of spite if he was already restrained.
He just kind of shrugs and just says, I don't know what was the situation. He, in terms of emotions, I don't know. I've put people through a lot of physical pain. I've even ended lives, but I've never seen someone make a face like that.
Yes, well, there's physical pain people can recover from. Emotional can be much longer lasting. I would say it's definitely the more painful way to go. Most people, given the choice between being broken emotionally or having a limb or two broken, would probably choose their arm over long-lasting emotional trauma. I guess I don't really know your exact question with this.
Kind of like is messing with his hair, and he's like, I'm not sure either. I guess, did we do the right? Things were simpler when in the cage. You just needed to make the other guy stop moving. I haven't had to think about stuff like this before.
If I believe it might be a situational issue. It sounds like your team already had him restrained, so it wouldn't have been necessary. But if he had been overpowering you and your friends, then that may have been justifiable to cause the distraction needed to gain the upper hand. This just sounds, for lack of a better phrase, I suppose, at the moment, very unheroic.
Yeah. He just nodded and said, so is that a no on the right thing to do?
Well, I don't know the full situation. Um, I'm inclined to go less the right thing to do and more of just kind of a, well, to be blunt, dick move. But it was a villain, so at least there's that going for it.
And that makes it okay.
Maybe not okay, but less wrong, if you, depending on how you view the issue, given how long he's perhaps been active and the emotional harm he's caused others. Again, it's more of a pettiness than anything else, I think, but I would have probably gone a different route. But again, I wasn't there. I don't know the exact situation or what was going on in the heat of the moment.
He nods, looking like his head's gonna explode. He drinks more water and says, I don't like this week. It's been full of things I can't punch and full of things breaking that aren't. I'm out of my element.
Well, given, well, I can't do anything about things you can't punch, but given how uncomfortable this clearly made you, perhaps you should speak with your teammates about it.
Mm. Uh, Poster boy Norman felt, well, she wouldn't have said Norman, Shade felt that it was, I don't know, he didn't seem, I don't know. He just gets up. I'll think about some more. I guess, I just want to punch.
And she just kind of nods and, well, you know where to find me if you need to talk about the matter more, or anything else.
He nods and says, "Thank you, Professor, for this," and just walks away.
As you walk away, you don't see her, but she pulls out a notebook out of her bag and just starts furiously scribbling into it.
That's about all he would have done. That was like significant. I think he's spending the rest of his time trying to like Tetris out what the hell he feels about the situation. He's like, man, a long piece hole here, and I'm only getting like the triangle piece. I can't fucking figure out how I feel about it. So it's just been a lot of him being frustrated, which in a societal sense, he's been dealing with more villains that are street crime, but probably hasn't been talking to the team as much.
Okay. Anybody else?
Fee would have probably tried to talk to her father, maybe not her mother, about what happened at the lake.
Okay, yeah, that would have been easy enough. Would have been able to catch him either at a breakfast or a dinner, something like that.
So once she sort of looks around and makes sure that her mother isn't within earshot, she's, Dad, can we talk?
He kind of looks up from what he's reading and, oh, of course. Here, sit down. And he kind of pats the couch.
She sits down beside him and she glances up at the photo of Nick on the wall and then sort of glances back down at her hands.
What's wrong?
Dad, I found out more about what happened that day.
And he kind of closes his book and sets it down. And well, what do you mean?
That day there was a villain that tried to attack me. My powers subconsciously defended me. That was what caused the wave. And a villain attacked Nick before we could get to him.
And as you were talking, and especially towards the end there, his mouth just kind of opened, like a little bit wider, and it's kind of like hanging there, jaw dropped a little bit before a few seconds before he realizes it, and kind of closes it and looks around and just kind of, well, how did you come by this? How do you know? I mean, I'm how?
Nick reached out to me. I don't
What?
know how to. His spirit. He came to me.
And he at this point he just kind of like stands up a little bit and like rubbing his hands together, just like hand to mouth type of thing, and just I don't think you would. How was he?
He's better now. We captured the villain that hurt him. He'll never hurt anyone else ever again.
I just are you okay? You weren't hurt, are you? Or
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. My teammates and I, they helped me. We took care of it, Dad.
and he's got almost pacing like a little bit, slightly back and forth, very short steps, as he's just like no idea what to do or say or what to even feel. You can clearly see like just the range of emotions going on right now between a lot of concern, but shock and sadness. Everything is just, you've never seen like a reaction like this from him.
I know it's a lot to take in. It was a lot for me. I just wanted to tell you. I know Mom. I know she probably wouldn't take it well, but I thought maybe we could figure out some way to tell her together.
And then he kind of stops in place and puts his hands together again, and then one goes up and kind of rubs his forehead, and we're sliding back across his hair as his hand goes to his mouth, and again it sits back down, kind of facing you, and just, well, I don't think we should anytime soon. I'm not sure how well she would handle it. I'm not sure how well I'm handling it, but I know she would handle it much worse.
I know, Dad. That's why I wanted to tell you.
This is so above my head here.
And Fee just sort of laughs, just sort of at the absurdity. She's like, "Trust me, I get it. It's kind of above me too."
I'm very glad you're okay. You do seem to be in somewhat better spirits for everything, so I can't imagine the relief that you feel. I know how we treated you and how you treated yourself, and I'm sorry.
She just gets up and hugs him.
And he returns it, and we need to be very careful about when and how we tell your mother.
I know. I know she doesn't like that I'm different. I know.
I'm glad you're okay. If Thank you for telling me and trusting me with this, and knowing you could come to me, even though I know I haven't been the best emotionally lately.
It's all right. It's not your fault.
And he kind of not really knowing what else to say. Just ice cream.
Sure. Ice cream.
And he holds the hug a little bit longer before breaking it, and y'all head out for that.
Okay.
You just blew his mind. Like, he's just totally Norman or Thomas, anything?
Are these the days leading up to Halloween, or
Yeah, it's maybe a week or so between what happened at the lake and then to when the actual session proper starts for the Halloween.
okay? Since Norman was sort of a accessory to horrible violence, he didn't do the actual punching, but he definitely helped. It's not as weighing on his mind. What's more important right now probably is Fee's state. And I know we were talking about behind the scenes that they've been starting to hang out a little more, and if it doesn't conflict with anything, he would probably ask her if she wants to go out and help him pick out the costume that he's gonna wear.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine on my end if he's okay with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Alright. I'm going with Shadow the Hedgehog in the end. And depending on how far away Halloween actually is when we do this, he might ask you to help him die.
Okay.
He's going all in.
I love it.
It's probably roughly a week between the lake incident and Halloween itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, I meant like this, so if I can get her maybe the day we start. And so I don't just have dyed hair for no reason for like 5 days.
Oh yeah, it'd be easy enough like the day before to get this all plotted out and everything.
Alright. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Worried. Seemed to be pretty rough last time. I didn't really know what happened in the building. You seemed pretty worked up. You doing okay?
I'm fine. Really, I am. Thank you, Norma.
You heard from Stryker recently?
Yeah, I heard from him yesterday. We're supposed to actually work later today at the House of Brews, the evening shift.
I'm a bit worried about this costume. I can already tell what he's gonna say.
If it makes you feel any better, we can go in and get him a costume first.
This is the origin story of the badger costume. That would be wonderful. Hmm.
Yeah, and it's
So
definitely
it's pretty much it.
Man, you're fucking lucky that Stryker doesn't know what a furry is, so he can't sandbag you.
But yeah, y'all easy enough to find a Halloween store to go costume shopping in.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, he just wants. He's not going for like the poofy. He's not going for like the actual costume. He's going to like it's like cosplay almost. Like he's just getting an outfit that resembles Shadow the Hedgehog with the gloves and the boot. It is worse.
Oh god.
Listen, he's been trained in the edge. He can't. This is his instinct. He has to do this.
All right, so Fee's helping pick out different accessories and all that. He's like, so what do you think I should wear? What costume do you think I should pick?
A snowman made out of real snow. Wait, that's probably not a great. Okay, that's too Christmassy, I guess.
She just looks at him.
Fucking real.
I mean, if anyone can do it,
Me hypothermia.
That
you
will,
could heat it up.
that
and
will
then-
not even metaphorically, literally won't survive first contact with
I mean, she can control it, right? If she can boil a person, she can keep snow cold.
I'm not saying she won't keep it cold. I mean, someone bumps into her and that snow's not going to stick.
I mean, there's like wireframes and stuff. I don't know.
You've got the snow in a thin, clear plastic bag keeping it there, but it's just stuffed with real snow.
There you go.
But damn, it's too Christmas themed. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
What if you're like a mermaid, but like the tail's going off, and you're like the bomb has like a rock, and so you're just walking around underneath the rock. You look like a mermaid on a rock.
Okay. I like it.
Do they have one of those there? Or is this gonna be a home problem?
Well, you're able to find a mermaid costume, and easily enough. And they have a few rock costumes, but they're all wrestlers, not geological, of nature.
Oh, okay.
Do
We
it.
could
A
do
mermaid
like-
wrapped around the rock.
Mermaid on a rock, playing the rock. We could do like a daisy chain where you're helping to like get the highlights and dye in my hair, and then I'm working on like a paper mache rock in front of me. That way
I
we're all
love
helping each other.
I love it.
All right, that's how we're spending Halloween's Eve.
Yes. Oh, did we get the actual honey badger costume for Stryker or not?
Yes. I don't know who picked it out, but I agreed.
Fee will pick it out, and she'll show him the meme video, so he will at least appreciate that Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
He looks like he gives it a very serious, like, a very serious look, and puts his like hand on his chin and nods slowly. Yes, this will work.
I like to think that like the professor gave him like a little handout booklet about what is Halloween. And he kind of just like looks through the pages and just looks at like Norman and goes, "What the fuck mythical creature are you?"
Shadow the Hedgehog. Alright, yeah, I mean, that's about it.
Okay. And Thomas, was there anything you would have done?
Okay, yeah, sorry, I had to stop laughing real quick. But yeah, I've basically just had myself holed up in my bedroom with any book on magic that we've had in the house, which wouldn't be very many. And I've just been studying the past.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a superior roll.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so yeah, you retain some of the information from it, but you don't really feel like you picked up any proper usage from it. But you do have some of the lore down, at least.
Okay, so yeah, because basically what it is that I'm still mad at myself about not being able to summon Fee's brother. So yeah, so that works out perfect.
Okay, and that's pretty much the extent of what he would have been doing with the downtime?
Basically, yeah. Like, unless Godfrey's been able to talk me outside, but I doubt that he would have at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he typically leaves you to your own devices, as long as you get your schoolwork and everything done. So if you don't want to go anywhere, he doesn't try to force you out to leave or anything.
Okay, yeah, no, I've pretty much figured that then.
All right. So yeah, so the day of Halloween, the House of Brews is closed because the previous year it just took a lot of damage as things got a little bit out of hand, as a lot of the times on Halloween in Halcyon, it's not full-on Devil's Night terrorist acts, but a lot of troublemakers and youth kind of take the trick part of trick-or-treat a little too seriously, and things can escalate from time to time. So rather than risk the financial cost of having to do all the repairs or anything, they just gave everybody the day off. And so what is the plan that you all have for Halloween, especially since you have costumes, even if one of your party doesn't know about it?
Well, because Fee knows that Stryker hasn't really had much time to enjoy things like that, she wants to introduce him to Halloween and show him that they can have fun, that they can't have something that's, normal. And introduce him to that.
Okay, would that be like a Halloween party, a trick-or-treating type of thing, or what exactly?
Probably more of like a trick-or-treating, walking through the neighborhood, seeing if anyone will let the 16 and 17-year-olds trick-or-treat.
Okay. Norman and Thomas, y'all, everybody on board as a group?
Absolutely.
We can do my neighborhood. People around here are rich, so they have the full-size candy bar.
Even better.
What is Thomas's costume?
I mean, I figured once I actually remembered it was Halloween, I ran out to a store trying to use my powers to just hope that I'd be lucky enough to find something, and I want that to be how Princess Pikachu ends up.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, you get there late, but with the nature of your powers, you find 2 costumes that are half off in price because they're both missing pieces. So when you combine them together, it worked perfectly for Princess Pikachu.
Holy shit! This is the second cringiest thing I've ever heard. Actually, I've seen the cringiest thing. My fucking English teacher, because he was a goddamn hero, the best teacher I ever had in grade. He fucking as Elsa from Frozen, and like I can't even like tell you what it's like. Just minding your own business, looking down the hall and seeing like a 35-year-old, slightly heavy-set man wearing fucking full-on dress, wig, and everything.
Oh, come on, dude. Let it go.
Oh no! It's like go fuck yourself. Oh, goddamn! It's all over the yearbook.
Oh. That's awesome.
Get ready.
Got her. Fucking also cringe inducing. Fucking only one of us are actually like a technical monster. The other 3 of us are just of varying degrees of. What's worse, like the like human Shadow the Hedgehog or Princess Peach?
Okay, so you all meet up at Thomas's house. I don't know if any of you have all been there before or not, but it's a pretty large home, 3 stories in a very wealthy neighborhood.
Stryker's not been here. He's not even been in this like entire section of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually neighbors. Just never.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I figured he's like the next couple streets over or something.
Yeah, Fee's just like, huh. All right.
Stryker feels like a vampire that's walked into. It's all wrong here.
As you get to the door and you ring and everything, and Gottfried opens it up and greets you all and welcomes you in. And I believe Thomas is in the playroom.
He has a playroom.
God, that doesn't make me sound weird. I'm Princess Pikachu in the playroom. Okay.
Just sitting at a little table with a tea.
Yes, he does. That's where he has his video games and virtual reality system.
Fee blinks a couple of times.
I mean, there's a complete and total blank stare.
Oh yeah, how do you react? How does Stryker react?
Yeah, we don't got a lot of video game culture on some.
I mean, the fact that he dyed his hair black with red highlights.
And Gottfried leads you all to the playroom where Thomas is. Thomas, are you already in costume? Or?
Oh no, yeah, I'm sitting there in costume ready to go.
So,
wearing it to go to the store.
As you enter into the playroom, standing at one of the arcade consoles, you see a large Pikachu in a pink princess dress playing a video game.
Fee just sort of turns her head to the side and just kind of gapes for a second. Hey, Thomas?
What the fuck are you?
I'm Princess Pikachu. What not? What else?
Anyone looking at Norman notices he has zero apprehension about this, and he just acts like this is normal. Hey Thomas, looking good.
Stryker turns to Fee with such a look of confusion and it just says, "It's just how rich people are."
I was able to. I found half the Pikachu costume and half the princess costume. This is what happened. And don't you dare criticize it.
I I don't even have a metric to comment on it.
And Fee just sort of looks back at him, and I got nothing too, buddy. I got nothing too.
How's a Pikachu?
Yeah, it's a video game character.
I'll make a mental note to try and just slip him as much Pokemon as I can in the next few days.
Fee, have you already given Stryker his costume, or has he seen it yet, or is it like in a box you're carrying?
It's in a bag. And so Fee just sort of pulls it down, and she's like, actually, Norman and I picked out something for you to wear too, since we figured you wouldn't have a costume.
That was an intentional decision.
Fee pulls up the Honey Badger Don't Give a Fuck video on her phone. She's like, we felt this would suit you.
You look at Norman, he looks over his shoulder with like a giant grin.
I have never had more hope in my eyes than I do right now looking at me.
And from outside the room, walking by, you see Godfrey kind of stop, and he listens for a second, and he goes, "It's true, Honey Badger does not give a fuck," and just walks off.
I feel like what I was taught about like this house is very different from the reality of it. Do you all have to dress as animals? What? Why?
Not animals, but I thought this really fit your personality, given how tough you are and how much you do not care what society thinks of you. I thought it'd be a cute little, I guess, play on words, given how you act with the rest of us.
He looks at fucking Norman. He assumes this is his fault. And just...
What, you've never had Halloween? Everyone does this.
No. I haven't had a holiday before.
He just sort of like snorts. You'll get used to it.
I have a feeling I'm not, but sure, I'll put on this costume.
And it's got like a giant snake too, so it can pretend like he's like attacking the snake as well.
I mean, when he comes back wearing this, I assume it's like a full body suit thing.
Yes.
I mean, you know what? His expression sure is, I don't give a fuck, but I think it's like at the level of apathy. There's not even anger anymore. There's just cold acceptance that this is where he is. I'm in the thing. I don't know how I'm supposed to. As that is his really only metric for clothing.
Halloween's a fun time. We don't have to fight.
Yeah, at that point, Godfrey shows up again and kind of steps into the room, and you hear like some plastic hitting on plastic as he sets down 4 orange buckets, basically, that have like jack-o'-lantern faces on them, but they are closer to buckets in size than they are like a Halloween pail. For your night's festivities.
Norman, like, surprisingly excitedly runs over and grabs it and starts looking it over.
Fee smiles and nods. Thank you, Godfrey.
And these are pretty sizable orange buckets, too.
Oh, is this for that candy corn festival?
Yes, it is.
I thought only children are allowed to danger in exchange for candy.
It's more mischief than danger.
He just kind of looks at you confused. Not really heard the word trick outside of a context that wasn't immediate pain. He's like, yeah,
Think of it like this. It's more we will play a joke on you if you don't bribe us, not we're gonna hurt you.
why would anyone surrender their...
It's part of the weird social contract that we have for Halloween.
He just stares blankly and then just nods, understanding that he's putting me in a weird position, and to just accept it. The more he thinks about it, the more he realizes that he just won't understand festivities. So, what are we doing? I guess
Now
tonight.
we go door to door and we demand satisfaction.
He nods and takes his bucket.
Lead the way, Thomas. You know this neighborhood best.
Okay, sorry, I'm okay. All right, follow me. Just marches out into the night.
Yeah, and so following Princess Pikachu into the evening outside, you see a number of people have already started trick or treating. A lot of kids, but you do see people your age, and based on the numbers, and this is something that Thomas and Norman are both familiar with, is it looks like a number of people are probably coming to this neighborhood because of the wealth, not because they actually live in it, hoping for a bigger score.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I think as he sees like the kids walk by, like he can visibly see Stryker have an idea and then nod to himself and then just keep walking, but it actually seems like he almost wants to do this. Because I figured out what he's going to do with this candy.
There's several times where we're approaching a house and Norman just starts running.
And Norman just starts running what?
Running ahead.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't he seem weirdly excited about something that he's been doing for years?
Yes, but a lot of people get that way. Halloween is a favorite holiday for a lot of people.
He nods, just assuming that, oh yeah, there's not a lot of days where you can just walk up to, I'll do something to you if you don't surrender candy, and then result in action.
And so the four of you kind of head up to the first house, and with Princess Pikachu in the lead, she knocks on the door, and it takes a couple seconds. The door kind of creaks open, and there's a elderly woman just kind of there smiling as she opens the door with a big bowl. And she seems taken aback a bit by what's standing in front of her.
Hopefully V will help me with this, but I just shoved Stryker forward.
Why?
Say the thing.
He notes the fucking payback variable for this in the future. Trick or treat. He's like tridents in front of this woman. He's like, this is not an enemy. Don't release your anger on her. It's not her fault.
And she just like smiles and just, oh, that's a cute skunk costume you have, as she reaches into the bowl and drops something into your bucket and does the same for each of you. And you all quickly realize that what she dropped in was a little travel kit with a toothbrush and toothpaste.
Oh, thank you very much.
Stryker just mechanically nods his head because he's like, I'm still mad.
And y'all head off, and she shuts the door.
That was fun. Maybe,
Never again.
okay.
Do not push me in front. It's like, fuck you, man. No.
Well, next one? Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is Stryker in the lead?
You
Oh,
better not.
Norman's running off again.
Thank God.
Yeah, he'll take the lead on the next house.
Okay, so yeah, you knock and the door opens and it's a middle-aged couple. They open it and see a costume and the whole trick-or-treat thing, and you get pretty decent-sized or regular-sized rather candy bar. It's different ones from each bucket. Like you just have a pretty big assortment of normal-sized candy bars. And then you kind of repeat this for a few houses. So get about 20 minutes into this. What's Stryker's feelings?
He's surprised how many variations there are of chocolate. Like, he hasn't seen most brands of sweets before. So he's just like, wow, I thought it was going to be a lot of the same thing, but I've like barely seen two of the same little candy. And he also doesn't know, like, he's like, for him, he hasn't recognized that, like, some of the random shit they get, that's like, the toothbrush and all that, that's below candy. He's like, you know what, more towards the goal, I guess. But he's always been now very cautious of standing anywhere near.
Anywhere near what? It's kind of tap for me.
Variable.
Oh, okay. So this goes on for a few more houses. You'll hit a few more blocks before you turn the corner to the next block, and you could hear the music as you approach. But it looks like this block, both sides of the street, basically turned it into like a giant block party. As you've got kids and people running up and down the sidewalks with the hitting the houses, but in the middle of the road, basically blocking it off to traffic. You've got people. They have tables set up and all sorts of like food, snacks, and everything else, and punch bowls, and they've just turned a street party into the whole thing, basically. At each table, you kind of see a few different people will look like they're working at probably their table. Everybody's in a costume. You see, like the good old classic Frankenstein's monster kind of standing off to the side, just looks like he's brooding. Every now and then just lifts up the punch cup he has to take a drink. A couple of giant hot dogs walking down the street, and just all sorts of crazy random things.
Norman looks like a tourist going into a big city for the first time. He's like almost mouth agape, looking around at everything new.
Fee's hanging back by Stryker, kind of taken aback. She's used to trick or treating, but the giant block party, that's new to her too.
Stryker's taking that he doesn't know anyone else, so that he doesn't have to worry about meeting someone else that he knows in a costume and have to process that. Because, man, so far with his team, he's currently 2 for 3. What? And he doesn't have to worry about anyone going and pointing out how stupid he looks in this costume.
Well, and Stryker, as you take in the scene, you're the first one who notices it. You see what looks to be, like further down, kind of mixed in with some of the crowd, another Princess Pikachu, but it's the opposite half of both costumes from what Thomas is wearing.
Yeah, like, I think this is probably the top 3 most visibly unsettled Stryker's been, because he can't even fucking why anyone would do. Who besides Variable would think this was a good idea? A and B, choose the worst half of the mix.
I mean, regardless, I run over to that kid for a high five.
Yeah, she points him out to you and says, and just starts like disengaging, looking at it.
And yeah, you can see it, Thomas, especially once it's pointed out to you that there is definitely somebody wearing the opposite half of the costumes you bought.
Oh, dude, yeah, I just bolt toward them.
As Thomas runs up to him, you see the other one kind of notices and like jumps out in the road in front of him, like throws its arm out, like arms wide, like for a big hug, and goes running towards Princess Pikachu as they meet, and they just kind of embrace in the middle of the street.
And Fee just has a giant what the fuck look on her face because she's like, even I can't handle this.
It's a Halloween miracle.
Miracle's a interesting choice for the.
It's something. Oh, it's certainly something.
We take a selfie together, and I would like to bring them back to meet the gang.
Oh God.
Okay, yeah, they come walking back with you, and they seem pretty happy with as they walk, kind of bobbing along excitedly. Their name was Jim.
Guys, meet Jim. We had the same costume idea.
Wait, so what half of the Pikachu is missing?
Jim has the bottom half of the Pikachu.
Okay, wait. So wait, Thomas is just walking around with the top half of a Pikachu and a crown on?
But the bottom half of the Pikachu costume that Thomas is missing is covered by a big poofy dress. Whereas Jim has the bottom half of the Pikachu and like the long sleeve undergarments that would go with the royal dress, and has a makeshift crown as well.
Oh, I thought it was just like a princess dress with a tail or something. I didn't know it went like bisexual.
Stryker's receiving critical near two people like this at once.
Hi guys, Thomas here said we wanted me to meet y'all.
Hi.
Hi. What was your name again?
Pikachu Princess.
Oh, looking great, Pikachu Princess.
Thanks.
I give him some finger guns.
That's a great shadow costume.
Thank you. Some people don't even recognize.
You're right, I don't recognize you. I feel like I'm learning a lot about people around me today.
Love your honey badger. And that's an awesome mermaid. You people are great.
Thank you. You certainly look awesome too.
And he's just got like this huge grin on his face as he's just like looking around, like just so excited to be alive right now.
Jim, the honey badger. You see the honey badger right there?
Yes, great
It's
costume.
his first Halloween, Jim.
What? Oh my God! What? You've never had a Halloween? How does that possible? Oh my God! Okay. What you gotta do? You got that bucket? That's great. It's already kind of getting full. These houses are great for it. You go keep hitting those later in the night. But right here, this party, we got all this stuff. We got this great food going around here. You go to some of these booths. We have little games over there. Over there, you can bob for apples. Over there, you can play pin the tail on the skeleton donkey. It's just you can win little prizes. You can eat all you want here. Don't tell them I said this, but you can load up some of the stuff on the table into your bucket too. You eat it for later. But you came to the right place.
His
Yeah, you're cutting out on me.
How he looks beside stiff to like the fake smile to like miss.
He goes, hey, Stryker, why don't we go over here for a little while? Why don't we go over here? And she just tries to steer him away from Jim for Jim's safety.
I'll try the whatever. Yeah. He just walks away, trying to be like,
Bye, nice meeting you.
yeah,
You too.
nice.
Walk. We're gonna walk now, Stryker. We're just gonna walk.
Yeah, sorry about him. He'll have. But again, I like your costume. I hope to see you around.
Thanks.
He waves off as he
Nice meeting you.
comes to little salute. Runs off toward Stryker and
He turns to Thomas and he's just like, well, if you ever want to hang out or anything, I just live right over there. And he points to one of the houses.
Wait. He said what?
No, he turns to you and says, like, if you ever want to hang out or anything, I just live right over there. We can just hang out whenever.
All right, cool, yeah.
You have some really great friends.
Side note, Jim betrays us, I swear to God.
I think Stryker will find liberation through that.
I don't know if you what do you do now? I mean, I guess you're probably going with your friends, huh?
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep going for a little bit longer. You want to come?
His eyes just light up even more, and then he kind of stops for a second. Oh, I do. I really do. But I need to kind of stay over here. My parents are having me watch their table over there. But if you wanna grab some of the food or anything off of it before you go, that's great.
I mean, yeah, sure. What do you guys got?
Oh, we got the whole eyeball thing. They're really just peeled grapes, and we got the intestines and stuff. It's like little sausage links, and they're kind of still linked together a little bit. Just a good mix of Halloween hors d'oeuvres.
Oh my God, that's perfect. Stryker, you got to eat some body parts.
You hear that called out over the crowd.
Phoenix sort of grabs Stryker's arm to keep him from going and punching Thomas. Just keep walking. We'll just keep walking. It's fine.
I will do a stupid thing. You hear him like mumble, remember why you're here. Remember why you're here. He's like walking over trying. I mean, he looks very much the part for the honey badger. It's like he's standing on the precipice, Thomas. You really don't want to know what the other cliff's like. Goes up.
got none of that.
Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out on me.
Cool. I mean, I don't know how far I cut out, so he's just gonna come over and say, yes. Because he just heard someone call out his name. The exact details of what was going on.
Okay, so you walk back up to Thomas.
Yep.
Okay, Thomas. So yeah, as you call out for Stryker to eat some body parts, he kind of turns and walks back over to you and just says, yes.
I mean, yeah, I drag him over to the table.
Okay, and so yeah, in front of you, you see a bunch of different things labeled like brains, intestines, and things like that. That, looking at it, you can clearly tell that's not what they're supposed to be, or not what they're labeled.
Mm.
And Jim kind of walks up and just, yeah, you just take your pick. The grapes. I mean, I'm sorry, the eyeballs. They're good. They're good. But the intestines here, they've got some really good seasoning on them. You probably really like those. Yeah, the brain over there, it's Jello, but it's cherry flavored, so it's the good stuff.
He just looks to Thomas and says, thank you for telling me about this, as he just very slowly rips some of the intestines and does not remove eye contact as he eats some of it and passes to the other two.
So you just grab a handful of like these little mini sausages and shove them into your mouth, and they've got a pretty good seasoning on them. Definitely not just thrown in a pan or whatever and thrown out there or anything. That some effort went into them. They're actually pretty tasty.
He gives Jim a half-hearted thumbs up as he heads.
Yeah, you give the thumbs up, and Jim gives you like 2 back. And I'm glad you like them, friend.
Yeah, that's about all he can take from goodwill. He's just getting back to like, okay, my good deed. Let me out.
Yeah, so Stryker walks off, leaving you at the food table with Jim Thomas.
I just watch him go for a minute and then keep eating.
Yeah, some other people come up, they grab some of it too, and Jim's just sitting there with a smile on his face, greeting everybody, and just really happy to be alive. And y'all, as you kind of walk away, you see Thomas just like stuffing his face.
Is there any of like a mini game that like or some kind of test of strength as he's and looking at this block party? Like I can't tell what stuff is up for like in terms of little booth things.
Yeah. There's one that's arm wrestling. It's basically challenging the Wolfman, and this seems to be a pretty large guy in a werewolf kind of costume.
Yeah, curiously stops by that and sees what the prize is for winning.
Really, it's mostly at this particular booth. It's like 20% discount on a single item at a little store that the guy owns. Looks to be a kind of a mom and pop hardware type store.
He kind of just looks to the guy and says, "Can I just do this to see if?"
Sure you can, buddy.
And even empty shit as he sits down and puts his arm.
Yeah.
To take great satisfaction in destroying this.
He sits down and locks hands, and y'all begin, and obviously you can quickly tell he's not superhuman, but for a normal non-superpowered person, you can tell he does have quite a bit of strength. But you're clearly in control here of how far you want to go, or to let him one way or the other.
Well, I think he's not going to hurt this man. So for a bit, he actually puts about his level or a little lower, so he can just the exertion of that exercise that's fucking social conversation, and then he'll like properly go above and just beat him. Nothing like overly showy. He's learned his lesson about putting people through tables in arm wrestling matches.
Okay,
so it doesn't go well.
So for a minute there, you kind of go back and forth a little bit, and you can tell he feels like he's getting the upper hand before you finally pull it back and drop his arm, and he's just like, "Whoa, best challenge I've had all night." Yeah, here you go. Yeah, and he hands you one of the discount cards.
Yeah, he nods. Thanks, and heads back to his group. Like, oh, thank God, something today that I understood.
Are you finally having some fun?
Sure, he kind of tosses the card to him because he's like,
I guess he catches it, he puts it in his little bucket.
Okay.
Should we wait for Thomas to wear himself out before we keep... Or is there more to look at here?
There's a few other like little mini games and stuff like that. There's a dunk tank, and like I said, you had the bob for apples. There's a pin the tail on a donkey, but instead of a donkey, it's a picture of a skeleton donkey. Things like that. Just little, really cheap kind of like autumn festival kind of games. And of course, a lot of tables, like I said, with a whole bunch of snacks all throughout. So. And there's still the houses behind it that are, still having trick-or-treaters run up there, too.
Norman's following the group, but he's actually not going to participate in any of the games. But he seems to enjoy watching if anyone else does.
Yeah, Feast's just walking through, sort of watching Stryker and making sure he's not going to actually strangle someone, because she's a little worried that might happen.
I think there's moments where you see him put in a real effort to not, but he's generally.
It's more she's concerned for Thomas's welfare when he gets back with the group than anything.
Oh, don't worry. We'll have a nice long sparring practice the next time we're out.
Thomas, you're probably feeling pretty full at this point. You've been stuffing your face for a while now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to work my way over to the dunk tank and just see how I can do over there with my powers before I hook back up.
Okay. And as you walk off, Jim's like, well, yeah, hey, nice meeting you, and happy Halloween, and remember, I just live over there if you ever want to hang out.
Yeah, you too, man. I can't see my house from here, but I'm that way.
Cool. So you're in the neighborhood?
Yeah, down on Sycamore.
Cool. As you're walking off, you just hear him go, all right, have a great night, and then he just kind of cuts off mid-sentence.
I'm still waving, but like kind of slowly turning toward the dunk.
Okay. Yeah, so you make your way over to the dunk tank, and there's a creature in the Black Lagoon type of costume sitting up on it as people are trying to throw red balls that are kind of made to look kind of like apples somewhat to try to dunk him.
All right. Do you want me to roll Unleash for it, or?
For that one, go ahead and roll directly engage.
God damn it!
It goes wide, and you hear "oh" as you hit somebody upside the head with it.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's fine.
How many tries do we get with this?
Yeah, 2 more.
Oh, sweet.
You also don't get potential for this.
Oof.
Oh, fine. Be that way. Do you want me to roll for each one?
Yeah.
That guy's going to have a concussion.
Yes.
Yeah, so you throw the second one, and it's just perfect dead center as it hits and releases, and the creature kind of falls into the water, splashing out. And the kids who are kind of gathered on watching start kind of like laughing and cheering as he kind of gets up, and it gets reset for the next person.
Oh, okay, cool. There are kids. Oh, you guys haven't seen anything. For the last one, I actually want to throw it in the wrong direction and see if I can make anything crazy happen just to impress all these.
Oh yeah, Rube Goldberg, this guy in the world.
All right. If you're trying to do something crazy, I'm assuming that's with your luck powers. So go ahead and roll Unleash.
Motherfucker! I was trying to be cool. Come on.
Yeah, so As you try to do this really cool thing, like hoping your luck powers kick in properly for what you had planned, the ball releases and it's so wide and it hits like a light post and it bounces off that with more force than it should have, and then across the street and bounces off another one and then across the street and to the brick of a house before it ricochets off of that and flies across the street and hits one of the giant hot dog costumes like dead center. And as it does, you see like the like a burst of energy just kind of shoot out the top of the hot dog as he's kind of looking around like confused, like what just happened.
I just slowly whistle and walk away.
And the other hot dog that was with him kind of leans over and like seems to whisper in its ear as they both kind of turn and look at you, and the one you hit kind of looks back at the other one, questioning. They have these faces on them that look to be moving as they talk, and the other hot dog kind of nods and he looks back at it, and its eyes kind of narrow as it glares at you as you walk.
What have I done?
We're about to get jumped by some motherfuckers in some hot dog costumes, and it's because of you, Thomas.
Oh no, that's way worse.
And as you walk off, they're just turning and watching you go.
I mean, I probably don't realize that they were watching me, but yeah, I work my way back to the.
And Thomas comes walking up to the rest of you all, finally.
How was the food? Okay, cool.
Good talk. Good talk.
Yeah, Thomas, I don't know if you caught that, but Norman was asking you how was the food.
Wait, do what?
Norman was asking Thomas how was the food when he walked back up to the group.
Oh, somehow I came in at okay, cool. I was like, wait. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. I definitely didn't hit anyone in the head with a baseball. Nothing like that happened. You guys ready to go?
That's usually my goal for every day.
Fee just sort of looks at him strangely. That was oddly specific, but okay.
Fee, Norman, and Stryker, give me a superior roll.
Oh, this is going to end poorly for me.
Same.
Yep.
Okay.
Superior is my worst.
Great, the one that's pissed at me.
Stryker, as you're starting to head off, and you're kind of probably giving a look to Thomas. You happen to notice further back in the crowd what looks to be the tips of two large wieners bobbing through the crowd, heading in y'all's direction.
Come on.
He sees that and says, I don't know. I've been almost enjoying myself here. I think we should stay. And he just looks coldly at Tom.
Well, as long as you guys are having fun, I think we could.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever you want, Stryker.
Yeah, I think I'll see something that will make me very happy. A little bit longer. As he just sees the slowly part the crowd.
And as y'all are kind of hanging out, Thomas, you finally, since y'all are staying in that area, you do notice the two hot dogs getting closer through the crowd, kind of slowly making their way through, heading your direction.
I mean, no, I'm cool with going. Yeah, going. Hey, more trick or treating. Let's get Stryker some more candy.
Thomas, you're in a big hurry to go. What's up, man?
Nothing.
I thought you wanted to stay at first.
No, this party's boring.
As one of the hot dogs kind of gets you get a clear line of sight with it as kind of the crowd kind of parts, and it's the male hot dog as it kind of bends at the waist, leaning forward, and at the top of it, the costume, it looks to be hollow. As suddenly there's just like a burst of light as it shoots forward. And Thomas, I need to take a powerful blow.
Oh shit. Okay, this is a bit more real.
Wait, yeah, roll a what?
Take a powerful blow. What was that, Stryker?
Okay, I think if he saw him like actually blast, I think he would try to pull him out the way. I mean, I guess he's fine, but like Jesus Christ, he thought he'd get punched, not blasted.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to defend and jump on the way, that's fine. But otherwise, it's hitting Thomas. Or would be. Actually, he missed. So, yeah, Thomas, you happen to see the blast coming at you as you kind of sidestep and kind of push the others out of the way as it shoots past, and you see it hit somebody down the street. Looks to be some little kid in a Batman costume, and as it hits him, there's just like a flash of light, and the kid just completely disappears.
Oh, okay. I would like to defend the kid. I think even as like uncaring as Stryker is, seeing a beam head towards a kid is not something you just go, well, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and as soon as Fee starts to see Stryker move, she's going to start to pull some of the water out of the dunk tank and try to use that.
Okay, so...
Ooh, I failed.
Let's see if I can do any better.
Oh, poor kid.
Oh, wow!
What is...
What?
I didn't even know that was an option.
Oh.
I mean, I would like to think that Norman, though has good intentions, sees you two rush out and's like, you guys...
I mean, I'm not going to let everybody roll to defend from the same attack.
Yeah, well, I mean, doesn't it just take your mover? But yeah.
This poor kid.
Well, but, I mean, you failed, so you either expose yourself to danger or... Oh, no, that's if you 7 to 9, so you just flat out miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't.
So
the kid's dead.
So you try to jump in front of the blast with throwing your bucket in front of you, but you kind of miscalculate the speed of it as it zooms past you, and then the water comes rushing down as you try to propel an obstacle in front of the way with it, and it misses as well as it does hit the kid as the kid flashes and is gone.
I think starts heading towards where that hot dog person is.
Okay, Norman, what did you want to do seeing this now? And
Yeah,
and it didn't seem like anybody else in the crowd really caught wind of like anything unusual happening because it's Halloween. Everybody seems to be acting normal still.
As Stryker gets up, he just sees Norman all stand up straight and start walking towards these hot dog people. He's going to aim at the one that fired the beam, obviously. And out of his back, much like a hedgehog, a bunch of like dark spikes come out and like fly towards him, trying to pin his costume to the ground.
Okay.
As he like stab in.
Roll to directly engage.
Okay.
Okay. And your exact options?
Yes. Let me see. If I didn't really see how he shot that beam, right? He just sort of bent over and it happened.
Yeah, it came out of the top of the costume.
Could I try to like pin close the top of the costume or something to take away his beam? Or at least that's how I would try to.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so you you shoot off the quills, and is that the what are all your options that you're taking?
Sorry, yeah, I was. I'll take a powerful blow because I'm going to try to frighten as well.
You cannot do that with Fight the Good Fight.
Can I not?
Nope.
Oh.
That is the one
right.
thing that you can. Yep.
Then never mind. Everyone else is sort of on the floor, so I'm going to just resist.
Okay. So yeah, so you shoot the quills at them, and one of them kind of scrapes by and hits part of the what looked to be a costume, but as it hits by, you see it react in like pain as what almost looks to be like blood coming out from where you broke the skin, as the other spike kind of pierces through the top and seems to hold the flaps together that of the hollowed out inside that the blast shot from, as it looked like it was trying to turn and blast at you, but you managed to hit it first, causing it to react for the other quill to take effect before it could shoot you.
Can I get over there?
Well, and then Thomas, since you were hit, but you didn't actually act or anything. So you have the one that's got the kind of the end pinned closed a bit, and then you have the female one next to it. That's the look on his face very angry as it looks to be getting ready to attack.
Let me see. I don't know if this will be unleash or engage, but if it's getting ready to attack, then when it does attack, I'd like to trip it up or make it miss or something like that, so it doesn't actually hit any of us.
Okay. Roll unleash, because you're trying to use your powers, basically, right?
Right.
Maybe I cut out. I don't know. Roll unleash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess he did. Well, never mind.
Yeah, so as you're planning to try to counteract it using your magic as you tap into it, the blast from the female one as she leans forward and the hollowed out insides of what you now realize aren't actually costumes fills with light and blasts forward. And you try to reach out with the luck, but you can't quite connect as the blast is heading straight to you, and you realize that you're not going to achieve what you were trying to do.
Powerful blow, I guess.
Unless somebody wants to defend.
I mean, Norman would if he can, since he did just.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So how would you go about this? Since you know if it hits somebody, like if you just jumped in front of it, it would hit you. I'm not trying to do that.
Right before he bends down, I just sort of like shoot my hand out and in front of. So he bends over, so he couldn't see, right? It's sort of hard to picture this hot dog creature.
Basically, it would bend down at the waist, and the top half of it aims forward like a cannon.
Okay,
but it did shoot.
Just...
It did shoot. So like you can't prevent that from happening.
Okay.
Better for it to hit an object.
Yeah. I was trying to wait, because if you already shot it, then I can't really make him miss. Then.
But I mean, remember, there's tables and booths and all sorts of crap around that you could potentially throw in front of it.
Yeah.
Punch bowl.
Yeah, sure. Why not? If there's some sort of buffet or something nearby. that I could grab a bowl from and just throw it?
Yeah, as you like instinctually like reach out your arm and kind of shadow, it kind of extends out and grabs a bowl slightly out of your reach and then flings it around in front of the blast. As it hits the blast, it seems to do the trick as there's the flash and the bowl is just gone. But Thomas is there unhurt or anything.
I look back at I sort of look down and wave to the booth owner and say, try not to show him my face.
And at this point, people are realizing something's up and they are kind of starting to scatter and panic a bit. Now, Stryker, if you wanted to get close and do something.
Okay. Again, I guess this is going to be out of character Stryker behavior as he goes up and actually is going to try to de-escalate the situation.
Low battery.
Oh, apparently my fire alarm is crying about a low battery. But he just goes up to them and says, I imagine my teammate pissed you off, and I understand that you were angry, but you bring them back, or I will join the fight, and you will regret that decision.
Roll provoke.
Sure. That's like, man, it's like point where I'm at, like, you got ahead, wouldn't even do anything, because I actually have equal levels of both. Oop.
Low battery.
Shut up. Yeah, I mean, acquiesce to my demands, damn it. That's all he cares about.
They kind of rise back up. They kind of move in close to each other and start whispering back and forth to each other. We will stop fighting, but we keep what we take.
That was a 5-year-old, no deal. Give the kid back.
Kid safe, kid over there. And they point in another direction, on the opposite, down the block.
I see them.
No.
Was that where the kid was?
No, it's the opposite side of the opposite way.
Can we actually see the kid?
No.
Is it Jim?
You see Jim, like, kind of at his table, like, watching still. Like, just enthralled by whatever the hell's going on down the street. The light show.
I guess he'll turn to the team and you keep an eye on them. I'll make sure the kid's safe. And if he isn't, I'll shatter them like glass. He just starts heading off.
Norman nods. He looks actually pissed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. V starts to like pull up the water, ready to like ring these hot dogs in if she has to.
Okay. Give me an assess as you make your way down the street looking for the kid.
Alrighty. Fingers. Holy shit.
It's going good.
Okay, so yeah, as you're making your way down, looking around carefully, you think you hear something, so you stop, and you're a good ways down the street from at this point, and you listen, and you hear it again, and it's almost like a crying sound. But there's multiple like tiny little voices screaming or yelling, and you kind of follow them. You turn and you see on one of the tables what looks to be a whole bunch of little mini hot dogs with people sticking out of either ends of the wiener. And you see a guy in a priest costume with who has one in his mouth. He's got iPods and listening, so he's kind of looking around like about to take a bite, and you can kind of see what looks like the head of Batman sticking out of the end of the wiener as he's about to eat it.
Yeah, he fucking grabbed this dude's hand. Stop right now, please.
You just kind of like wide-eyed, like, what?
Someone, okay. You're gonna have to follow me here. This isn't a Halloween joke. They only turn people to what you were about to eat. I just saw a 5-year-old with that little Batman.
What? And he looks down and sees, like, in his hand, like, little feet kicking, and turns it around and sees a little Batman, and he kind of drops one of the earbuds out of his ears, and holy shit. I already had 3 of these.
Oh God. Okay. I'll
Holy shit.
I'm sorry, sir.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and kind of like.
He's still holding the hot dog, too.
Yeah, he's like, can I please have?
Yeah.
You should call someone.
Let's see. Hands it to you, and I ate 3 people. Who do I call? Oh God, I killed 3 people.
It wasn't your fault, sir. You should.
Oh God.
You're going to need help. Just. Call the police and explain the situation.
Oh. And you can tell, like, he's kind of broken right now. He's not calling anybody.
As a situation he's going to deal with later, and he kind of, you know, the little hot dogs can listen and says, "Okay, I'm gonna in my bag for now. Be careful. I'll fix this."
Low battery.
Oh man, he's so fucking mad. He heads back to the.
And they didn't lie. The kid was safe at the time.
Oh man. Oh my God. I can't even like imagine the level of rage there is. Because this is. Oh wow. I mean, the rest of the group can tell right away. This might actually be the one and only time they've seen him more angry than a fire-related incident.
And the area's cleared out pretty well from around where this was going on.
Yeah, the moment Fee sees that Stryker is that angry, she just assumes something's wrong, and she just begins to like draw up her powers, and she's just getting ready to unleash them, because if he's that angry, she knows nothing good's gonna happen.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll for burn, and all right. I'm gonna say that Fee is afraid.
I imagine seeing Stryker that angry for something that didn't involve somebody trying to hurt you is cause for that.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now, but shit is about to really hit the fan, and I'm not okay with it.
Oh yeah, also I guess since it is a passive move, can I trigger game phase?
Yeah.
He's gonna kill them. And I guess take hope, because he can't. There's 3 people at least now that were killed in one of the worst ways possible, and there's nothing he can do to fix that.
Yeah, game face is very fitting. And yeah, so the 2 hot dogs are just, waiting patiently. They seem to be honoring the whole stop fighting and for now type of deal.
I mean, I guess, look, let me know when I can go up to them and give them my response to their statement.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if you're going to say anything to your team first or not, but...
Oh, no. He's going to let them
Yeah, so go ahead and do your thing then.
Oh yeah, he says, I checked. Let me give you my response. And he fucking
No battery.
real. And I think for the first time in his entire time since leaving, the cage and like spending time with the professor, he swings with the complete intent of killing him. There's no holding back like he usually does because he's like, that's what I do. No, none of that.
Okay, go ahead and roll directly engage. And so you're swinging a punch, basically, though?
Yeah, it's a very violent, hard, fast haymaker directly. I mean, whatever this, I don't know exactly what this person looks like, but he's like, it looks like the top part that they're shooting out of, does it look like a mouth?
Does it look like a what?
Like, does it look like a mouth? Like, I don't know the anatomy of this.
No, just like imagine like a hot dog wiener with the top kind of hollowed out to the inside.
So, like, I can still see a person in this, right?
No, and when Norman hit one with his spear, it like pierced part of what y'all thought was a costume, but it looked to actually bleed.
Okay, he's gonna aim for that part that bled. Because he's like, I know there's flesh here. And hopefully I shatter this man's spine. And if not, I'll see how long it I guess resist and avoid their blows because he knows how dangerous they are. And as much of their life as I'm allowed to take, I want.
Okay, yeah. So with all of the fury that you're feeling, that you channel, with all of your massive enhanced strength that you have, you unleash this punch that, as it goes and as it connects to the creature, your fist just kind of sinks into it and bursts out the other side as you all see Stryker come up and just punch his arm through this creature as what looks to be hot dog wiener erupts out the other side, along with what can only be described as some type of blood, as that particular creature kind of as it falls forward, pulling back away from its fist, from Stryker's fist, as it slams to the ground, bleeding out. As the other one, why you kill Halloweenies?
And at that moment, Fee is going to unleash a destructive burst of her powers using Reality Storm. And she is going to target the second creature because if Stryker is willing to put his fist through something, she knows it is horrible, and so she is going to use that, and so she is going to directly engage this second creature using her powers.
All right, go ahead and roll.
And she is going to summon all of the water, and she is just going to blast it as hard as she possibly can.
Okay, so you're still kind of caught by surprise by just the anger that you see from Stryker and what he just did, but as you gather all of this water, actually, parts of yards start bursting up as you're pulling water out from their pipes as well to form even more of it as the ground rips along the street, bringing this giant torrential blast as you surge it forward, and it cuts into the one that's still standing. It still seems to stay standing, but you've taken out a very decent chunk of its side and parts of the top of it to where the part where the cannon was kind of falls to the side, kind of hanging limp as blood just pours out of the gaping wounds you've now created as it just screams and, "Oh, leave Hollow Winnies alone!"
And Stryker does quickly put a hand to the rest of his team and says, "We need to figure out how we turn them back to normal. They turn people things to eat."
What? How do we change them back? And Fee just immediately looks at them and glares.
It just turns and tries to run, but it's very lopsided and running poorly.
I am going to...
Can I do it?
I'm going to spend my next, my last burn, and I am going to create a moat and prevent it.
Okay.
And create a barrier and lock them in with us and be like, nope, you're not running anywhere.
Okay, so you basically kind of create a sort of ice barricade around it, keeping it from escaping.
Yeah.
As the water kind of surges up and around it and solidifies. As it hits it and just kind of patting its hands along it, trying to find a grip as it looks like it's trying to climb but can't get a good hold on it. And Norman, if you wanted to do something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, as he starts running away, he sort of extends his hand, and a few more. It looks like 6 of these needles that he used previously materialize with some like shadowy thread between them, and he starts launching them at him, sort of trying to pin him down with 2 going on either side of him, and they all just sort of clamp into the ground.
All right, roll directly engage. Actually, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can fight the good fight again if you want. Yeah, so exactly as you had planned, they shoot out, and the threads between them find purchase on his body as it slams him up against the ice wall as the spikes themselves kind of pierce into it, keeping him in place up against the barricade.
Yeah, so obviously trying to take away his mobility and avoiding.
And Thomas.
Well, the other one is like dead, right?
Yeah.
Been a while since these hands. Didn't expect it to be a fucking hot dog.
I guess I just asked, how do we? No, I get up in his face and just demand to know what they did, because Stryker didn't actually say, right?
He said out loud that he turned them into things to eat.
Oh, okay. I'm blank. I must have spaced for a sec. Then, I just demand to know. I just tell him to change them back.
No change back. No change back. Can't change back.
No, yes, change back. Yes, change back.
Can't change back.
Either they change back or you cease to exist. One or the other.
Can't
Make your decision.
Can't change back. Can't change back.
Can I try to? God, I'm so bad at this. Here's the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Fuck.
Yeah, as far as Stryker can tell, it's being completely honest that it can't change them back.
Then in that case, I'd like to see if it's got any kind of, machine on it that we can take and change them back.
Go ahead and roll assess, and then go from there.
Guess I'll have to.
Yeah, this is just this whole thing is just so weird. You're not really thinking very clearly as far as taking things into account.
Okay. I guess I'll try to threaten her out while someone smarter figures some way to Jim rig this. So he kind of like walks up to them and says, "I don't think you understand the reality of the situation. Either you tell me, or I start slowly peeling you apart until you start screaming." And I guess I'm going to use the got a head you don't need.
All right, and as soon as Stryker does that, Fee wants to lean in and just sort of like watch just to make sure and see whatever he says. Tell us, or he will.
Okay, surrender to me.
And it just no change back. Can't change back. And you get a sense of fear from it. Like, we don't know if it's just panicking for its life or not, but you feel like it's very fearful, and it's still saying that it can't change back.
I want to see if I can pierce the mask.
Okay.
Yep, nope.
I guess while the group starts to operate, I mean, he's going to fulfill his promise and start through.
So what are you doing?
I mean, he's going to grab any open wounds and just start.
You cut out there when you said after start.
Start tearing. He said
okay.
that he would rip them apart if they didn't give the answers he liked.
Okay. Well, it's got huge open wounds from the parts that were blasted away by Fee. So, Norman, what were you gonna do?
I'm gonna walk up and slightly tighten just for effect the you things. Do you have a leader that might know something?
No, we just can't change back.
Listen, you're obviously not very smart. I'm trying to find someone that might be able to change them. Are you the only two of your kind in existence?
Don't know. No, we are. We are Halloweenies. We don't know more. Don't know.
Can I look around? Does it look like someone's weirdly controlling these things? Like, I don't know why I'm. It's weird that only on Halloween these things come out. It feels like he's getting an inkling.
Does anyone have
this
eyes on like... Jim?
Oh shit!
Oh my fucking god!
I feel like
if you look around, you do see Jim is kind of still watching, but he's got his phone out like he's recording what's going on. And like and the look on his face is just like one of like dumbfoundment and like amazement, like just what the fuck is this? But I don't know, but it's going on YouTube.
I mean, Stryker's killing the other one. No, actually.
Well, one's already dead.
Yeah, he's killing. Yeah, the one that is in his hands right now is also about to die now because they have no use for information, and he doesn't like playing judge, jury, and executioner. But this is one of those moments.
And Fee sort of reaches out. Stryker, we can call Geas. They've got to have something for this.
I mean, you're gonna have to roll to provoke because I think he's actually tearing up right now, and he can't hear you.
All right. So Fee is going to roll, or I'm going to roll for Fee to. Anybody want to teamwork with me?
Yeah, I forgot to throw out team points, but yeah, I've got like 4 of them. If you miss and anybody wants to help out, what if you miss?
Yeah, I'll chime in.
Okay, so working together, how do y'all try to talk down Stryker?
Fee's just, if we kill him, they won't be able to study him. They have the science, they have the technology, they can study him, they can possibly change them back. If he's dead, if this thing is, they might not have enough to work with.
I mean, she's right, man. Like, they might not know it. These guys might not know anything, but Aegis might.
We need to make sure that we can change those people back. I know what they did is horrible, and yes, they deserve to suffer, but we need to change the people back first and foremost, Stryker. Aegis can help.
I mean, I guess 7 to 9. You guys do get to. Me doing it gives us team, or me not doing it gives me a condition. So which one of those options you choose? And I'm not saying whether he's, because I'm still trying to process it in my. Sadly, this tied really, really tightly to the goal he had for himself. So when you get a 7 to 9, you choose one from the list.
Yeah, so y'all choose whether he does it and you add one team to the pool, or y'all choose if he doesn't do it and they mark a condition instead.
I already got 3 conditions.
No, he would mark it.
Yeah.
You basically give them a deterrent or an advantage, depending on which one you want them to.
Like, it's basically in your call on how the story plays out. Does Stryker do it and like get a condition for it as far as killing it, or does he back down like y'all want and y'all get a team point added to the pool?
Well, I guess it's like the difference between positive reinforcement and like punishing the other person. If they, you're trying to provoke them positively towards a different action or for the action that they're about to partake in.
Yeah, I don't think she actually chooses what he responds with.
Well, reading the way it does, that's exactly.
No, it says if.
No. What? Yeah, it says if. She's deciding like whether I make this decision or not. Like her way of quietly saying, "You better," is like, if I do it, I have to mark the condition.
I got you.
Or yeah.
Okay, I thought they picked the outcome.
Doesn't affect what I choose per se.
I got you.
Kind of changes how they go about telling me it.
Right.
So which one of those two are you choosing?
That if you back down, that we'll add a team to the pool.
Yeah.
Come on, Stryker. Come on. We need to make sure those civilians are changed back.
He looks into his bucket where all the people are.
And you just see them kind of wiggling and writhing about in their little hot dog prison.
Looks at this fucker and just pulls his hands away and like kind of facing away from the group says, "Fine, let me through the moat."
Okay.
And kind of heads quietly through that and tries to find that poor man, disengaging himself from this person. He knows if he stays here any longer, he's not going to be able to hold himself back.
Do you still have the bucket with you on your way over there, or did you set it down?
No, he keeps it with him.
And as you back away from about to kill it, y'all see its body kind of suddenly just kind of go limp, and then just kind of explodes into a shower of hot dog parts and a rain of some sort of blood-like substance that smells like hot dog juice as it pours down on the area with splats and clumps of it as it scatters around. And as it does, there's like an eruption of life in the bucket as just a bunch of pulses kind of fly out, and you see all these people just appearing back to normal on the street.
Stryker feels a fucking roller coaster of emotions there. It's very clear to the group, at least, that he did not trigger whatever, and just looks relieved that everyone, the people that are left, are okay. just
Norman's looking around for anyone. You said most of the people ran away, right? Before the.
Yeah, the majority of the crowd had scattered from what was going on. You can still see people like down the street keeping just a very wide berth, kind of watching though.
I'm looking around for anyone
For anybody, what?
laughing.
You don't see anything like that. Most people are just kind of like watching, like, what the fuck is happening? What's going on? And then while all these people started appearing, you see more like even more just like kind of dumbfoundedness, and more phones kind of come out and like start recording than already were.
Hmm.
The kids who had been turned into hot dogs, they're standing in the middle of the street now crying. As the adults who were captured just kind of like looking around, just confused. And all in all, you'd put roughly 30 of these things in your bucket, and so then these 30 people just appeared.
Yeah. He doesn't feel too great about his heroic. And like he's gonna look for that corpse and help, I guess, explain to the police what happened, so this dude doesn't go to jail. But like also the police know that there's 3 people who should be dead. Oh, God.
Yeah, so as you start looking around, you don't really see him anywhere. And the police have started to show up because some people did call from whatever the slideshow was that was clearly not part of any sort of act or anything. As they start kind of approaching the scene cautiously, trying to take account of what's going on or anything.
As this is happening, Fee just sort of goes up to one of the tables and she just punches her fist just into it. Why can't we just have a fucking normal holiday? And she's gonna try to break the table just to get all of the frustration, the anger, and the fear, just everything just out, because she's just at her breaking point. She's had all of this sort of tension over the week, and now she wanted to go out and have a good time with her friends. And these damn hot dogs ruined her good time. And she just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, you punch and you punch, and it takes a few, but you eventually do like crack the table and like punch it into a couple of pieces. As your fists are very sore, borderline bloody, your knuckles. As the people kind of start coming up, and the police as well, like trying to talk to the ones who had appeared in the street, and parents finding their kids who suddenly reappeared, and things of that nature. Do y'all try to blend in with the crowd, or do any of you actually talk to the police, or?
She will talk to the police because she knows she's probably the only one who still can, given that Stryker's.
Oh, yeah, it's not gonna look good if he talks anything that happened, huh? He's probably.
So she's gonna do her standard job as team face, and she's gonna go up and interface with the police.
Okay. And Norman and Thomas, what are y'all doing?
I'm gonna try and gather up some of the hot dog bits, and I guess try to walk it over to them, see if the cops can get that to Aegis and see if they can figure it out.
Okay.
Well,
so
we have one mostly whole corpse.
Yeah, it just had basically a big chunk of it punched out enough to kill it. The other one exploded into a shower of hot dog gore.
Oh, okay, I was thinking they both popped. And yeah, I just terrifically dragged the single dead one over them.
Norman would actually like to accompany Fee if he could use sort of minimal version of his stealth powers to just sort of lightly obscure his face instead of, blending in the shadows.
Okay.
He just wants to.
Okay. Yeah, and so the two of you approach one of the first officers closest to you all, and he's like, so, They tell me that y'all were directly involved in whatever this was. Yeah, care to enlighten us? And the fact that they didn't draw their weapons on you or anything like that tells you that y'all weren't played up as the villains by anybody or anything like that.
Fee points at the hot dog corpse. And she looks at him. She's like, there were two of those things. One of them exploded. That one we subdued because they were transforming people into cocktail weenies for people to eat. We know that at least 3 humans were likely killed in this manner.
His face just kind of just goes blank. And just, are you joking? Please, ma'am, tell me you're joking.
Why
And
would
you can,
I ever joke about something like this?
I don't know. I just really hoped you were.
I'm not
She's
sick
telling the
enough to
truth.
come up with this. I'm not sick enough.
What were you saying, Norman?
I just said she's telling the truth.
Good God, what is going on with this city? Do you know what they were, or where they came from, or why they were doing this?
They kept saying they were Halloweenies. That's all they would say to us. They didn't appear to be very smart. I don't have any answers. We were concerned about subduing them and making sure that they couldn't hurt anyone else.
When
Okay.
we tried to get them to leave, they said that they wanted to keep the things the people they turned. It seems like they planned on capturing them and taking them away. For who knows
He's
what.
got a notebook he pulled out and he's taking notes on your statements. And is there a way we can contact either of you if we... I'm sure we will have more questions on this. Or Aegis will.
Fee nods. She's like, I'm known by Aegis. I am Amphitrite. They'll know how to get in contact with me.
He just kind of nods and... Okay.
Do we have is there like a shade phone in the, is there like a separate phone number in the
if you want that, that's fine. Given how long your legacy's been around, they might have something like that for the authorities. So
I give them that number, whether
okay.
he recognizes it or not.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to. But
Mm-hmm.
then, is there a name attached to the number?
Obsidian shade.
He writes that down and... Okay. Well, thank you. I'm sure if we have any more, or if he just does, we'll contact you. Hopefully the 3 are the only ones.
And Fee just sort of nods and she immediately goes to find Stryker.
Stryker, there's been, as you've been searching, there's been no sight of the guy in the priest costume.
Alright. I think he's gonna call the person.
Okay. If you said more, all I heard was, I think he's going to call the professor.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You've been kind of cutting out sometimes, so I wasn't sure.
He's very scared / worried right now, because, that's the thing when it's just like, I ate 3 people and a block party where literally anyone could be there. He doesn't know if it was some, I mean, there's almost no chance, but what if,
But what if? What? You cut out?
Like, what if it's someone he does know?
Oh. Yeah, you give her a call, and she answers. And she answers just with a, Happy Halloween. I heard you went. I know you had plans tonight. How'd that go?
I killed 2.
To what?
I think they were people. I don't know.
What were they doing that you felt the need to kill them?
I saw and they grabbed the kid and they pointed me towards the booth. They're eating little hot dogs, and I saw the kid's mask on. They were people. That man alone ate 3.
Oh my god. How did... Were they people doing this to them, or you said you're not sure what they were?
They called themselves Halloweenies or something fucking stupid. And when I punched one of them and they exploded, it was more like hot dog guts than people. So,
Did the
yeah.
others they had captured, were they okay?
They seemed to turn back to normal when the 2 of them died. I mean, there were 30 people there. I don't know.
It sounds like you did what you had to do.
Kind of. There's like a long pause for a moment, and is it bad to hope that the 3 that I'm aware of aren't people I know?
I think it's human. Nobody wants to believe that somebody they know were the ones who died in an accident or in some horrible way. It's easier to deal with horrific events if people we don't know are involved.
He said, I think I'm gonna stay at your house today.
That's absolutely fine. As long as you need.
Stay safe. And he just hangs up the phone. So shell shocked.
And Fee, you walk up as you see him hanging up his phone.
Yeah, and I want to try to comfort him as best I can. So I want to just walk up and Stryker. I don't have words. But you did the right thing.
He just nods. He looks pretty still and more than a little preoccupied.
She just goes up and she just pulls him into a hug. There was nothing else we could have done. You made the right choice, Stryker. We can't save everyone. We wish we could, and we do what we can, but we can't. How are we to know that they were turning people into hot dogs? But we made sure that they're not going to do it anymore. It's done, and we'll figure out what caused them, and we'll stop that too.
You can roll comfort and support.
All right. 9.
He just nods and, like, you hear him mutter something about the kid and shudders a bit before he calm.
I know. I know. I wish we could have done more too, but we did all we could.
I'm gonna remove. Also, I'm gonna go on a limb and probably assume what I did to those Halloween probably enough to remove angry, right?
Yeah.
I think I sufficiently hurt someone.
Yeah, Norman was following feedback from the interview or the interrogation. Stryker.
Yeah.
He like opens his mouth for a second, then he closes. You done feeling sorry for yourself? You're not a bad person. Anyone in your position would have done the same thing.
Kind of like pauses and says, "That's not what I'm worried about."
I know. They did horrible things, but if you focus on what they've already done, you forget about what you stopped them doing. He takes off one of his big, stupid white gloves and hands it to Fee. I saw you hurt. Maybe be a bit more careful.
You can also try to roll comfort support for Stryker if you wanted to.
Sure, why not? I'm not very good at it right now because I am also angry. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost rolls high enough to figure out, to learn. Because I think if you also did it, he would have revealed exactly why he got through.
Wait, got where?
Why he got that angry. Because. But the secret is mine!
Yeah, Thomas,
Oh,
what are you doing
about
through all
that, my
this?
friend.
What?
I was also going to try and comfort him.
Well, you can give your speech that you're going to give to him, and then you can, roll.
I mean, not much. Like, there's not much more to say at this point. But I go to hug him too, and hugs are good, damn it. Stryker, seriously, it's gonna be okay, man. You want some candy?
I need more than that for you to roll, so.
No, yeah, I know. Look, man. Well, I don't even know what to say on it this time, but I mean, I know this. I don't know how much this helps, but there's always the future, I guess. There's nothing else we can do for these guys, but we'll just keep a better eye out next time.
We'll get him next time.
Yeah, if you wanted to roll for it, you can. With that final bit there.
God damn all of it.
But with us together.
You're welcome. I mean,
Hey,
we're probably gonna have a scene afterwards where it's pretty what his motives were the entirety of Halloween. Because I would like to a scene actually does the whole thing he gathered the candy for.
Well, yeah, while y'all are still out there and everything, I mean, once y'all are done talking, you're free to do whatever you had planned or whatever with your bucket and everything.
Yeah. Well, this isn't something that he can do today.
Oh, okay.
As they're all together, Norman sort of looks down for a second. Guys, I got something to admit. I've never actually had Halloween before.
Wait, shit, you cut out right at the wrong time.
Oh,
He
sorry.
said, I've never done Halloween before.
Yeah, I've never actually celebrated Halloween. This is my first time, too. My dad always used to bring me out and do some stakeouts around the neighborhood, see if anyone was causing trouble, but he never actually let me. He thought it was a good time to train me and that sort of thing. I was looking forward to today, but I guess it didn't turn out to.
Fee just sort of gives him a small smile, and she goes over and she puts an arm around his shoulder. Come on. Why don't we go watch some scary movies at the base? It's not quite the same as trick-or-treating, but
That would be wonderful.
We can aim for something better next year.
As you
definitely.
walk away, you just hear him like, "Hey, do you think maybe they would recognize me on all those?"
As Shadow. That's just... Dude, what?
Dad has other questions.
I mean, I would ask you about the costume if I didn't watch one of your teammates literally explode someone.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, really have fun with that report.
Hey Thomas, if you ever talk to that Phil, was it? What was his name? Phil or Jim? I can't.
Oh, Jim?
Oh, Jim. Okay, yeah. If you talk to him, could you maybe ask him not to spread that video around? I saw him seem to be recording us.
I pull out my phone. I don't know. Do you want me to roll to see if he's already posted it?
Oh no.
Oh, he was live streaming it.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
Oh god.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't know a reality where we would be able to keep this on the down.
Yeah, but he was the closest one. It
Yeah.
seemed.
Norman, it's already got 15,000 views.
Oh, God, of course. It's okay. At least I dyed my hair.
And you were behind the moat for most of the time. They couldn't really probably get a great video through the ice.
That's true. Though I did stab someone.
Honey badger on a warp.
You stabbed a hot dog. It's okay.
Yeah.
You stabbed the hot dog. The honey badger fucking killed one.
I just meant what I did when I was a boy.
But you find most of the memes that come from the video are related to Princess Pikachu.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, of the costumes, that one did have the most impact.
Oh god, and the video probably got me all covered in viscera too, so I can just imagine.
Oh god.
Man, I didn't get to say I am the ultimate life form once. It was too sad.
And so I know Fee and Norman are heading back to the base to watch movies. Is everybody going?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's not gonna let Stryker be alone tonight, so he's gonna come.
It's gonna conflict with his plans to be alone tonight, but
I think he dips out a little early to go to the professors, though.
Yeah.
She's fine with that, but she wasn't just gonna let him go off by himself. If he wants to go to the professors, she'll she won't make a big deal about that, but she just didn't want him to be alone.
Does anyone want this candy? I don't really have a sweet.
God, yeah.
In a sense, but he actually takes the little survival kit thing out of it and hands the rest to Thomas.
He's like, wow. Oof. That's a lot of candy.
It's okay. You probably won't get any cavities, right? That's his whole.
Shrugs. Seems to work in both directions sometimes.
We fade into
And so
darkness.
the next day, we kind of cut to the park somewhere in the city as we see somebody sit down with their newspaper, and they unfold it, and looking at the front page there, you see that the top headline is 21 people still missing from the Halloween night at Elysian Field subdivision. As he starts reading it, just shaking his head at it, and kind of pan around and see on the back of the newspaper on the last page just a little small snippet that you zoom in on of this 19-year-old college student found dead in a priest costume, looking to have killed himself.
Oh, he was 19 years old?
Stryker.
With no note or discernible reason why. As we cut to into session moves.
What the fuck,
Wait,
man?
I just want to do one thing.
Okay.
Because the thing is, the reason why he was kicked in the candy was to the kid he's been training.
Okay.
At the House of Bruce, and I think now he's very scared when he sees there's 21. And I wanted to do that while I remembered it, and I probably would forget in 2 weeks.
Well, I think we said you normally train with her on Tuesdays, and Halloween was on a Wednesday, so you probably wouldn't see her for another week.
Never mind then. I didn't actually hear what day of the week it was on.
Well, I'm looking at the actual calendar for when Halloween was,
Oh,
because it is
wow,
2018.
I forgot. I'm so used to most campaigns where it's just like, eh.
If it wasn't set in this year, then I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
But so you've got a week before you see her again.
Yeah. Well, his motive is clear now. Like, and that's also why he got that mad.
Okay. So yeah, into session moves.
This time happened to be passed.
I'm totally responsible for that, dude. I should have stayed. Oh, fuck everything. Man. I guess I grew closer to
Which are the 3 people that consoled you? I guess probably the one that actually did.
yeah, it's like, man, you know what? Actually, let's you, Obsidian. We shared a event of first time Halloweening, and you were also responsible for this outfit. Whether he loves it, that does mean that I've worn something you picked.
Okay. What's your up and downs, or what's your you can't move?
You can literally move anything.
Okay, well, danger up because you exploded a man or a hot dog. Superior down because you really tried to threaten this. Oh no, because he was scared. Maybe Savior down because he saw you like belly flop in a horrible attempt.
Yeah, I mean, you can just put Savior down in that I completely net failed. Really.
I mean, I'd say in that one, you got the hot dog guys away. We technically saved more than were killed or missing.
But like, man, my poor fucking social skills. I can't believe the dude killed himself.
Well, does Stryker read the paper?
This time, yes, because he had an event that he cared. Usually, you're right. He wouldn't give a shit. Fuck.
I'm sorry, man.
Feels bad.
I guess we'll go like popcorn reading so I can go next, and I'm gonna. Well, it was Stryker's first time as well. He felt that the attitudes, at least initially, were very different. While on the other hand, Fee seemed a lot more excited and he spent more time with her, so I think he's going to grow closer to Fee instead.
Okay, what do your labels look like?
My savior can't go up, everything else is fair.
Alright, I'm gonna say freak up,
Okay.
because you were using your powers and you seem to have a lot more control over them, and you were willing to do more with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say superior down, because you didn't pick up on the threat that the hot dogs were either.
Yeah,
So.
I did not notice this. Alright, my savior and freak are both. And... Okay.
Alright, I guess that means I am next. I'm gonna say
I'm getting rid of angry.
No,
I cleared angry.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out who I grew closer to.
To Jim.
I think we all grew a little closer to Thomas after seeing him in the outfit.
A little too close,
A
perhaps.
little unfortunately close.
Yeah. Maybe we need to take a couple of steps back.
Oh, fine. Fuck you.
I'll say she grew closer to Norman.
Okay, what did you do? You made a moat, you crashed, you broke a lot of stuff, but you hit him good. What, can anything not be changed?
Freak can't go up. Everything else is fair game.
Danger up. Savior down. Because he was...
Okay.
He tried to save. I guess that's about...
I am going to clear my afraid. I only have one condition, guys. Only one.
Yay.
Hooray!
I'm at my Stryker comfortable zoo.
I only have insecure left, so that's not gonna hurt me too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to help you feel better, but well, you know, that ain't Stryker. As you
That's
said
right.
before.
Stryker rolling for comfort or support is just him going, fuck up.
Like, man, Lucid's like this specifically so every session is like right in the blind spot of like what he can actually handle.
I mean, it's not like I'm not actually plotting to do that. That's just kind of how it happens.
Yeah. I know. I know you're not actively doing it, but it's fucked, man. And there's a new way for him to feel guilty every fucking session.
I'm wondering what happened if Thomas got hit by the beam.
Yeah, what would have happened? Would I have turned into a hot dog?
You would have.
Oh, great.
Like straight up, there's not an option on this this time.
So there was a non-zero chance of total party wipe to fucking hot dogs.
there was.
Oh man, someone. Oh, maybe one of the hot dogs they ate was that punch bowl.
But
You never know.
if you had been turned into hot dogs, you would have still had your powers. You just would have been tiny.
Yeah, I thought when he ran over there, I thought they were turning him. I thought they were just shrinking him. That was way worse.
Man, fuck. I thought that these hot dogs. Man, he feels so fucking guilty. He thought Variable had done something stupid and made the hot dog mad, and then beat him up a little bit, and then be done. He doesn't even
Really.
know whether to feel like happy that he did it because then it revealed what was going on and he could save those 30 people, or awful because he almost put that fate on a friend. Man, fuck this.
Thomas is the only one left. How's he gonna feel about it?
What you got?
I mean, I grew closer yet to Jim and to Stryker, I guess.
You know, like,
to the freaking weirdo in the costume, and also, I guess, Stryker.
what are your labels?
Superior cannot go down. Everything else is fair.
I mean, freak up. I don't think I have to explain why. Can't pick superior, which then makes it difficult.
I mean, I guess you could say I got less mundane.
You did see how he lives now.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's freak up mundane. Now it's usually two sides. Yeah, I had a lot of thoughts about like how the Halloween session was gonna go, and I was woefully and perhaps man.
Oh, yeah, I thought this was gonna be like maybe even no villain session. Whoa.
Yeah, same. I thought it was all going to be like trick or treating instead.
Nope. Instead, we have 21 people dead, and they were killed by being turned into Halloweenies and eaten. Okay.
Happy Halloween!
You know, like as a scatter effect, people are probably going to commit suicide because they realize that they got a hot dog that night.
Yep.
I don't.
To be fair, Stryker had hot dogs that night.
Oh God, I was stuffing my face.
Yeah, no, Thomas is eating like a ton of stuff.
To be fair, it was a different table.
Okay.
Oh thank God.
I'm just saying, some people are gonna realize, man, that hot dog I picked up making weird noises, but I thought it was because it was a toy. And there's just gonna be a hard silence. How much time's gonna pass from next?
I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I forgot. Time passed. We had a little session. I forgot to do the legacy.
It probably won't be next day, so yeah, at least a couple of days probably.
I need to know like how I need to like mentally map out how Stryker would process what just happened, because I know what the first day is. It's sitting and staring at that news article with a lot, like, and probably nothing.
With a what?
With a lot of guilt and nothing else. Because,
Yeah.
man, I think that's the first time he's actually had to deal with someone who was in real danger of killing themselves. He not only did he not help him, he didn't even that was in the state that dude was in, and he left. And well, got to see the product of those.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many days, but at least a few.
Mhm.
Thanks, Lucid.
You're welcome.
I would be a little interested to see how my dad reacts to this if you wanted to do that now, or the legacy time pass thing.
Yeah, we can do that at the start of the next one.
Okay. Well, it's just because I have to ask the people, and it would be in their mind now. But yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Damn. Just. This
Yeah.
was not how I pictured tonight going.
And depending on where y'all had went and everything else, I mean, there's also the very real chance that one of you would have ended up a cannibal.
Dude, if you had done that, I would have retired my character. I don't think any of my characters could ever handle like eating someone alive and then going, yeah, I want to still be a hero.
We just
No.
never see him again.
Well, I'm glad Norman explicitly didn't participate in that.
God. Wow. This is the first that Stryker has truly proven himself to be a shock. Because, man, God, usually my characters are like have a great AAA at fucking themselves over real hard and feeling really emotionally. But Stryker's been rolling excellently. So he's in a state of, I fucked up so bad. But Lucid managed to thread the needle, and even though I rolled almost complete successes, I still ended the night feeling, holy fuck, I'm so bad.
Yeah. The Stackhouse lineage hasn't been as deep. But the two do have in common is watching their Shafi companion just fall to pieces.
I think that's really anyone who's been around Shafi. Just watch them shatter like, even though I, the creator, try very hard not to.
I don't know why, but I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna eat the food. I guess I thought it was gonna be like drugged. I was like, he's gonna have like something in the food is like, gonna knock us out. We're gonna end up in a supervillain layer.
I would have preferred that.
I would have too, but shit, I'm so glad I had the instinct to not eat the food.
I was trying to go for something where like he's always spent his time watching people do these things that he just didn't even think of him being able to do them. So he's just sort of watching you guys go through stuff, and but apparently, good idea.
Yeah, I was just like, nope, there's gonna be something in there that we're gonna eat, and it's gonna like knock us out, and some shit. Nope. Well, I was partially right.
The fucking festive session had the hardest uptick in violence compared to the rest of the campaign we've done so far, including the guy who proclaimed himself a Nazi and our team thumped the shit out of him. He was less than us learning by, I guess, witnessing the after effects that a whole bunch of innocent people were forced to eat other people alive.
That's mass cannibalism.
That's so much more than the last guy, who was already pretty intense because he ate a whole bunch of the game.
You already what?
I don't like. I thought the last guy was gonna be all right. It's obviously gonna de-escalate a little bit from that guy because that guy was really intense. And it's
Nope.
You creatively made another cannibal that was worse than the previous cannibal. I guess these aren't
You have-
cannibals because these were weird monsters.
Yeah, these created unintentional unintentional cannibals.
Okay.
Just so much.
You out-cannibaled yourself, Luther. Good job.
How can I do that again next week? Or next
And
session?
yet
So help me.
another session goes by where I just detain someone who gets absolutely destroyed by.
Okay, that time they deserve.
Well, I mean, you were sort of tearing him apart for a second, but
He deserved that too.
I mean, no, everyone I've detained deserved to get hit. It's just a pattern now.
Man, and I started to say fucking E is on the violence, and then ended murdering someone.
You murdered a hot dog.